mortals. Yeah, you got to practice the things to get really good at.
Well, Flanks was so far winning the Quake Fashion Award there. Really nice color coordination. We're going to have to see if his color sense translates into game sense here. All right, but it looks like we got Ranger on both sides, a Nyx and Scalebearer for ScizR, and make that a Visor and Scalebearer for Flanks. So, not a bad counter setup there. I'm willing and able to take a shot if we see a Ranger on Ranger play on the Mega Health in the very first second. We're seeing less players do that, though.
So what happens?
Yeah.
So what happens if you both dire orb to the same location and teleport at the exact same time?
I didn't get to that chapter in my physics textbook.
Does the universe just explode on itself? Or, I'm just curious what happens.
Or your client crashes or something like that, which is just as dire. But we actually have Flanks starting with the Scalebearer, getting the grab for Mega, and doing actually a pretty significant amount of damage on the armor grab from ScizR. So he's going to be getting a little bit of armor of his own, making sure that this rocket launcher is safe to pick up before he dedicates himself to it. All right, there we go, cool. No harm, no foul on the rockets. But let's see if we can find out where ScizR is. Just at about the same time that Flanks does. Beautiful rocket pop, goes for the rail, doesn't quite get it, and is dropped down to 16 health. This is bad news for him. We've got Mega coming up, but Flanks cannot appear, and he can barely afford to even cross. He manages not to get sideswapped as he's looking for health. It's not available up at the top of the stairs, and coming down here might be dangerous as well.
Yeah, ScizR's in a good spot right now because he needs this heavy armor. Now he should just be full aggression right now for him.
Yeah. Well, he knows that he missed the cycle on the items, so standing in the blood pool is going to get him up on the stack just as good as anything else at this point, especially since he's only got the one piece of armor. Mega's going to be up and taken. Yeah, Flanks is expecting ScizR through the teleporter, but he's not there. He's through the other teleporter and just about up his backside as well with the rail to finish him off.
And nice combo. Like you said, just caught him unawares, came down there, and little rocket, little rail combo, and down he goes. And he's in full control right now, so he's gonna go for a kill. Oh my gosh, just nice combo kill. I'm like, if he doesn't get the rail, I mean, he's gonna drop down with rockets right after. He had him dead to rights there too. So ScizR's in command right now. Command. I mean, he can do anything he wants right now on this map.
Nothing stops you in your tracks like a direct rocket like that. And ScizR peeking out for that little rail, very cheeky, but good enemy awareness as well. There's no real reason to be here if he's looking for an item, but kind of sideswiping Flanks is absolutely worth it. Popping through the teleporter is going to be catching Flanks just on the tail end of that armor pickup. But look at this LG damage. He's so weak. He's coming in for a lot of rocket damage. So now he's got to be the one to back off. He really banked a lot on that fight. Didn't quite get the last rail in, but they're both going to have to go away to lick their wounds. Oof.
Yep, Flanks did a good job. ScizR was coming around the corner trying to end the round right there. He's expecting Flanks to go straight for the doorway, which he did not. So he had to make an adjustment, with his aim, and it forced him to miss the shot. So threw him off a little bit there.
And for all the work that ScizR's done, just a couple rockets means that he's got to be the one to get on the back leg a little bit here and maybe set up a trap. But in the meantime, Flanks is getting some armor. They're going to potentially meet here. ScizR's got to be heard. Yeah, you didn't see Flanks, didn't hear Flanks. Flanks went quiet just at the right moment to get the sneaky frag in.
Yeah, nice ambush. ScizR just didn't have a chance there. I mean, it really was. It's a good ambush. Heard him coming down the steps the whole way.
All right, so Flanks is down to his last champ here for this round. Both eyeing that armor, but it's going to be ScizR getting the damage out of it. He still has the potential for 90 damage rail, but the rocket spam is going to make him think twice about that. Not that he really was going to sacrifice too much there. 6 seconds to Mega, and it's always dangerous for Nyx to show up, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, he wanted to get out of there. He didn't have anything but a railgun, so. Nice little combo there.
So
that's my favorite way to ambush with Nyx.
Yeah.
Just come out with that fresh rocket, right? Ooh.
It's really good for ScizR that Flanks drop there. He got dropped down to 2 health, and even trying to get some damage here is risky, but sometimes you have to go for that risk just to make sure that you're doing enough damage to make them get off your back.
If Flanks knew how low ScizR was right there, do you think he stays down there, or do you think I think he rocket jumps after him. Oh, there it is. I was like, he's got to figure he's low right now.
1 minute warning.
So at some point, it's going to turn into a little bit of reckless aggression because you only have to land, a little bit of damage.
Yeah. All right, we can hear the Scale Bear coming. We're looking for the sick dodge. There it is. Or at least the butt puckering dodge, as we have flanks stacking back up slowly as a visor, making sure he's getting up on weapons. He's currently out of rockets, though. There's some over to his left here. And he can come through the teleporter and might actually get a fight out of ScizR. Yeah, he's in the danger zone now for sure, but Omega will help him get back into tip-top shape, as will a little bit of armor. But through the teleporter, he might catch him in the back once again. Yeah, he's got to watch his 6 coming out of these teleporters, as he's immediately knocked back down to 13 health. Nice.
I was wondering if he was going to get away with that heavy armor or not, because I thought ScizR was a little late, where if he ended up getting that, if Flanks got the armor, quickly, it could have been bad for ScizR, but he came back and had a good ambush in the armor, landed some good damage, and got the kill there to seal the round. Very close round, and went back and forth there a couple times. Pretty significant swing.
As we come back into it, I mean, we're both having to get used to this new pacing here. That last round was so blistering on every conceivable scale, but now both of these guys are kind of feeling each other out and realizing, hey, maybe we don't need to push into every single fight. Even as a Scale Bear here, Flanks is looking pretty trepidatious. Alright, looking for that rocket through there. And actually, compared to every other Quake, that hallway is a lot harder to spam now than it used to be. It's a little bit wider. You're not going to get a guaranteed rocket just as much, but Flanks, with a beautiful rail coming off the armor, is able to nail down ScizR.
Yeah, a little greedy by ScizR. Yeah, I mean, he denied the armor though, but he gave up a frag for it. So it's got to be careful pushing into that hall, and that entire, even when he took the shot, he still decided to jump across. He was pretty much just daring Flanks to hit some shots there, which he did, and so.
Nice there, Flanks just securing his position on Mega. That might cost him armor, but he's looking for the damage, and my god, he's getting so much against a Nyx there. Mega's still going to be up, creating a little bit of extra timing distance, and he might be able to catch him come around this corner. You have to be so careful when you're going through that rocket launcher room. But here comes Flanks on the chase. It's going to be difficult to force Nyx into a fight, but that 100 damage rocket is going to certainly justify that Shadow Walk.
Nice. Yeah, really putting pressure on him. Made him use his Shadow Walk in a defensive manner, right? So now he knows it's not up. If he pushes again, he's dead. And on top of that, you don't have to worry about the Nyx ambushing you with it. So, making her run away the whole time.
And that allows him to sit on some of these items a little bit longer and just spam off against the corridors, making sure that ScizR knows not to show up. But a rail like that is certainly a good start to taking Flanks down. He's going to need a few more, though. Nice.
Great. Great return rails by Flanks. Just way to answer on the Nyx, right? The smaller champion, but still, ScizR felt he had an advantage there a little bit because he probably felt, oh, the Nyx, he's going to miss more than I missed, but he gave as just as good as he got.
Absolutely. So they're both going to be pretty well stacked here, as it's going to be Scale Bear on Scale Bear, but it's the last frag needed for Flanks to get on the board now. He's kind of lost track of where ScizR's at. They're going to be circling the middle quarter a little bit. Oh, he's got the potential for that rail. They're going to be trading, but it's a trade worthwhile from Flanks' end, as he can potentially fight ScizR off of the armor and get a pickup. But his timing is bad. He's going to be up there too long, making that an open, wide-angle shot for ScizR.
That's just great railing by ScizR right there. That's like 5 of his last 6 hit.
Alright, so Flanks is having to do some slow recovery here, which is going to cut him out of the fight for this next item. But what that next item is actually up to Flanks. It could be Mega, could be armor. I mean, it's going to be up to him to see if... Alright, my opponent's at armor. Maybe I can sneak away with the Mega. Conversely, ScizR will have every incentive to make sure that Flanks doesn't get anything out of this. And taking away that armor, the small armor up there at that point, was a dead giveaway to Flanks' position. Allowing him to get flanked, even. You can hear that Scale Bear. He's not subtle, that Scale Bear.
I mean, Flanks has a lead here. He really doesn't have to do anything crazy. So he just needs to be defensive and try to steal an item if he can.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's only got 1 minute left to keep his lead up.
I mean, if he steals one of these next mega healths or heavy armors, and he's in good shape after doing it, it's pretty much a wrap. He just needs to be careful right now, not getting caught into any kind of silly ambush. Yes.
Yeah, of course, the risk there is that by trying to stay hidden, you're also giving away so many items to your opponent. And now he's got to watch out for the Scale Bearer play. There's the Rocky. He might get caught on the teleport. He's looking for a way out, but he cannot quite back up to the health. And he's taken on down. So now he's got to be very careful.
Yeah,
yeah.
He had that lead. I know it's tempting. It's so tempting because he heard the guy going through the teleporter, and he knew he took the rail shot, and he missed it. But that little shot he took, I mean, he could have just ran.
Yeah.
He could have just went to the teleporter that his opponent went through, and didn't even need to take that shot. But now he did, and here we are.
And now it's just a struggle to stay alive until overtime, so he has enough time to get some armor, get some weapons. He's still lacking an LG here.
Sudden death.
He's only got the 4 rockets. He's looking for ScizR to come through the teleporter, which doesn't sound like it's going to be happening anytime soon. He's also going to be getting his ability back here. Yeah, he's just going to pop it. Yeah, ScizR's being quiet up on top of the catwalk, and he's ready with that rocket. Jeez. So all of Flanks' plans immediately get flushed down the drain. And it looks like ScizR's actually on the chase.
Well, that'll put a damper on his sudden death chances. He definitely took some damage there. The armor helped him out, though.
All right.
ScizR has to be careful, though, making a little miscalculation because Flanks isn't that low.
Nice. Yeah, one more bit will do it, but it's going to be a mutual, but it was, I think ScizR got it first. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Flanks got it first, so that'll tap back up. Yeah.
Flanks killed him and then suicided, so I think, yeah, he got the round.
3,
What did it
1.
I was wondering how that was going to turn out there. Yeah.
Just went away so fast. I was like, so who got that first hit? All right. All right, so Flanks, having taken away Mega, is taking a bit of a longer route to get back up onto weapons. He's got an early LG at the very least, but it'll make dropping down here kind of risky. He's just going to go for a little bit of a tickle and then dive down for a rail. Ugh. I mean, that jump pad might actually be the better thing at this point. Oh, no, I forgot. He's a ranger. He gets that get out jail free card there. Flanks is firing rails all over the place. That's cute.
Yeah.
I would switch away from him, but I'm genuinely curious. Did his mouse get stuck? Oh, mouse is...
Oh, okay, yeah.
Nice. Likely story.
Mm-hmm. I think he just raged and slammed his mouse a little bit. And then, yeah,
a little too hard.
Clearly what happened.
You have to respect your mouse. Oh, now they're going to have a little bit of a conversation. In the meantime, ScizR's like, yeah, cool, items for me.
Yeah, I'd be keeping my my conversation really quick to where I can still go and frag.
Flanks is asking for a second to unstick his button. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think that supports your theory, Machiavelli. He just got a little mad there. All right, but that means that ScizR will be a pretty well stacked up ranger here. Flanks has got a lot of work to do to burn through that. So Mega once again taking not a lot of damage coming out of Flanks. He's trying to make something happen with the Die Orb, but it's not going to be going his way. He's going to be coming back into Rocket Launcher and opening himself up to a rail. Can he give back any damage here? Nope, just receiving. As that certainly puts Flanks back at square one, at least. Nice.
ScizR, man. That rail of his.
Yeah. He's looking for the chase here, but he's already gone. It's like, is he still there? No, he can't be there, but he must be there. Nope, he's not there. He's completely lost him. Found him again, and it's going to be finding him down where he's got all sorts of opportunity to finish him off with LG. He's going to chase him through the teleporter here and actually get a little bit juked as Flanks is actually headed down towards Rocket Launcher. Didn't quite see him, and that was an opportunity for a rail from Flanks, but Flanks wasn't quite ready for it. He's tossing out as many defensive rockets as he can, but it's still 10 seconds before that Mega comes up, and there's armor taken by Flanks, so he is working through the stack, and he is getting himself back into a place where he can fight up against ScizR.
Yeah, and what nice steal there. ScizR, probably could have been in the position there to take it, but he was going for a kill, and just wasn't in good position to cover the spawn.
Both kind of risky for both of them to be railing. They don't really have an exit here. Alright, but ScizR is going to take a quick RJ up for the armor. And this is ScizR's map to control. He's showing up incredibly early, but that also gives him the angle on the rail, and he pushes in for it. He wants to make sure that Flanks is going through the teleporter and does not think it's worthwhile to go for the Mega.
Needs to set a good trap right here. You know, Flanks is he's in a I'm gonna get fragged position. So you know, ScizR just makes a good read right now. Challenging for this armor, yeah, he's definitely probably not a great idea.
It's totally okay to be in that position if you're fully aware of it. I mean, you have options. There are so many things you can do. You just don't want to get yourself stuck somewhere where you can't get back out.
Yeah, going all the way out there on that shotgun ledge, just gotta be careful going out there. It's very hard to get back into one of those hallways once you're exposed all the way.
ScizR is baiting Flanks into as many fights as he can, and that creates some potentially lost opportunities, you know, where you push forward a step too far and you let your opponent out the other side, which once again, you know, we see ScizR losing track of his opponent, but at the same time, he's getting all these items completely for free. And if you thought Nyx on Nyx could be slow, we are seeing a Ranger on Ranger get very close to overtime, and we're also reaching the point where Flanks has got to realize, I don't have control, I don't have my opponent trapped, I'm plus packing with a machine gun of all things. Maybe this is not the time to bank everything on a fight.
He had a pretty decent stack, though. It's been relatively even. I mean, he did a good job rebuilding his stack. Yeah, he ran right into that.
He's got to hide here for the next 9 seconds, but he might not have that option. He's going to get trapped here at the jump pad. ScizR is going to let him go and actually acknowledge this overtime. He's going to be okay with that? Okay.
Wow.
That might be rather sudden, though, because this time, yeah, he's not saying sorry. He's going to go for the fight.
Yeah, I was surprised. Even at the end, he got away. It was borrowed time, though. He was so hurt. And ScizR knew it. So ScizR was just looking to cut off the map anywhere he could.
2, 1, fight.
All right, so map point here for ScizR. They're going to spawn across from each other at Mega Health, and I'm so happy to see that he didn't use a Dire Warp. I mean, just pulling out the machine gun and shooting your opponent down is enough to make them back off sometimes. They can both hear each other here across from Rocket Launcher. Neither of them have it just yet, but it's going to be ScizR winning that fight of the minds, if not the Rockets. Nice.
Kill. Yep.
Brutal.
Nice.
You have to respect those Rockets.
Yeah, right. He had a rocket launcher. You know, knew his opponent was down there. Teleporter. Nice little ambush as he's coming out there, shotgun ledge. And you know, when I mentioned earlier, going out of the shotgun ledge, be careful because you're not going back if you go out there all the way.
The chase through the teleporter, but ScizR is just hitting every single rail. I mean, that's got to be frustrating for Flanks. That's because he's going, okay, well, there's no way he can hit this next rail.
Yeah.
Or that rocket running right back into it. Jeez.
Oh my goodness. It's a rail party.
What?
It's a rail party.
All right, so ScizR showing that at least on Blood Run, he is indeed a cut above as we go into our next map.
Yeah, very nice rails from ScizR. In fact,
50%.
30
He gods.
on 62 shots.
31% is nothing to laugh at, but 50, jeez.
On 62 shots, he was shooting it too. It's not like, you know, it's not 5. It wasn't 5 of 10. You know, 2 or 4. It was 31 of 62.
I mean, the bulk of his damage was that railgun by a pretty good margin.
And good job on the armor control. You had 10 more heavy armors. You could see, you know, look at the light armors, right, being cycled by his opponent there. So he was being forced to do that.
Yeah. Oof. So we're going to be finding out what our next map is here. Thinking about the rail play coming out of ScizR, Flanks might, if he has the opportunity, want to consider a corrupted keep.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree. Take the rail out of his hands.
I have to sympathize with some of those fights where, you know, Flanks is not doing anything particularly wrong up until a certain point, but he's just going, all right, this has to be a fight worth that I can take without getting railed 3 or 4 times. But then he gets railed 3 or 4 times, and it's like, you know, what do you do against that? I'm in the right position. I've got the right items. I've got the drop of my opponent. But when my opponent hits every single rail, it's hard to come back. You have to take a step back and get extra careful, extra sneaky.
Yeah, you know, I'm trying to think back those times I was going against strong people with the railgun, and it's frustrating, and it gets in your head mentally. So it just changes your whole approach, because you think, can I even come around this corner, and, you know, without, can I even peek a pixel around this corner without getting railed? And you know, once you start thinking like that, I mean, it's detrimental to what you're trying to do, right? So it kind of keeps you on your heels.
Well, maybe Flanks didn't have the opportunity to choose, because we're going back into Blood Covenant of all things, which, you know, is definitely a rail map. He's got to be careful here.
Yeah, I mean, you go with, I mean, this could be his best map though, so he's just going with that. I'm a little surprised, though. I would definitely look to take away ScizR's railgun. It's pretty darn good, man. I was looking at some of the shots he was hitting there.
Yeah, we don't get to ban champs just yet, but we do get to ban a railgun in just the one map. So if it's something that can help out, sometimes you want to take it. But here, maybe Flanks is feeling pretty confident. Gonna have to see how it shakes on down.
Yeah, mirror match too, going with the same champions.
Yeah.
Too painful to be a dream. Too real.
Prepare to fight.
I could never talk over Rangers saying those lines. They are just too amazingly camp.
Round begins in 3, 2.
All right, here we go.
Round 1, fight.
Going to be following ScizR out of the gate, as he's going to be taking away rocket launcher, and it's good. I like him going for the weapon first. Is he going to get it? Yeah. All right, nicely done. You see a lot of players attempt that play with Ranger, you know, diving down for the armor and then throwing a dire orb up for the rail, and he nailed it perfectly. But bad news for Flanks. That means that ScizR has a railgun in hand, and he's already making good use of it.
Impressive. First blood.
And starting off hot, just like he left the 3 for 4 already with the railgun.
Alright, so this fight over armor might not even be a fight, as Flanks instead wants to go up for Mega. But ScizR, taking that rocket jump up, is going to be able to play a little bit of duck hunt with Flanks, and even with the Mega health taken away, it's not doing Flanks much good.
Yeah, this is a clear shot for him. ScizR's in a good position right now. I mean, he's just he's hitting his rails. I mean, he's got control over the heavy armor. I mean, so he's stacked. I mean, he's taking good position to line up his shots, and then on top of that, he's hot. So
yeah, with the new item placement on this map, the reasons, and especially with that new teleporter from Pillars, the reasons to go through the middle atrium jump pad are actually, I would argue, relatively nil, unless you know that you're going to be cutting your opponent off from something by going up there. But that was a beautiful play out of ScizR, catching Flanks on the jump pad and getting a pair of rails. And so far, he's not quite able to make that happen twice in the same minute, at least.
yeah, so a little surprised he wasn't able to get the finish there.
Ooh. He's able to take a little bit of damage. He's looking for the rail and deciding it's not quite worth it with only 38 health. Can't blame him. Mega's going to be back up, and ScizR can take this for free. Which means that Flanks is in a real danger now of allowing ScizR to start cycling these items.
Jeez, these rails he's hitting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's technically it's a horrible angle. Like when you shoot at, it's not a good angle. So it just shows you how confident he is with landing his shots, because it's not an easy angle to shoot at, going straight down like that.
Round 2, fight.
That's pretty low.
All right, so as we come into the second round, we have ScizR over at the armor. It's going for a straight-up boring play on the rail, but, you know, it's effective, works out. Doesn't give him a rocket launcher, but there is a nice rail. As Flanks is trying to take a rocket launcher of his own, a direct hit is going to cause ScizR to back up a little bit, as Flanks is going in for the visor play. It's going to know that ScizR's up there. And he still pushes in. He gets immediately bounced off of the jump pad. He's really lucky, actually, that he only took 31 damage there. That could have been way worse.
Yeah, he got a fortunate bounce, right? You saw what I saw. If he got bounced a little bit more into the rocket launcher area, he was going to eat some follow-up rockets.
Yeah. All right, so ScizR's making good use of the rail still. He's down to 61 health, so it's definitely time to back up a little bit. But at this point, he can hear Flanks down below at the armor. Maybe he can hear Flanks down below at the armor. Well, he's going to see the rocket at the very least. So he's going to be light on health and armor, going to take a dire orb across the map for an armor pickup. There's also the 225 orbs down below. But ScizR's now, once again, looking for an opportunity to put the hurt on Flanks.
It's like he knows he's on fire, too, right? He's just running around with the railgun a lot.
Oh, but has to look both ways before he crosses the street. That was a nasty rocket he took. Really good opening shots coming out of flanks. Maybe enough to keep ScizR off his back, but like you said, he is so confident
Pulling
here,
off
thinking,
now.
all right, I can make any hits I want, but the one moment he doesn't, flanks is able to punish him.
Yeah, he's cooled off a little bit there, and it definitely cost him.
Well, that's allowing flanks to get up on the items at the very least. ScizR is playing a pretty good defensive game right now, taking away the small armors when possible, and also taking a few chunks off of flanks as well. Alright, so a brief quiet moment there as ScizR's once again looking for his one rail hit, but anything that gets traded at this point means that both ScizR and flanks need to make sure they're not railable. Should be a relatively safe armor for him here, as Mega's already taken away, but this exit for ScizR might not be safe. He's able to get into the basement just in time as flanks is coming overhead. That means that flanks is going to know his options are limited, as are his angles. Tried to go in for that rail hit, didn't quite get it. But he's responding to that by coming right up the jump pad. The ball's on this guy. He's right back into the fight, and it's both so dangerous for both of them. ScizR, with only 72 health, needs some sort of stack control, as flanks can go back in for Mega at will.
Yeah, that was a nice read when he dropped down to that light armor over there by the lightning gun area and shot that rail. He just didn't connect, but it's a good read nonetheless.
Jeez.
Oh my goodness.
That rail was nasty. Just the reaction time on of it coming out of the dire orb as your opponent's flying overhead. It's not easy to pick those out of air. Alright, so Visor's going to know what's up here. Oh, a nice little bit of the wall hacky goodness with that rocket. But again, ScizR's rail is keeping him alive, keeping him in this. We might see this even go to a, well, I don't want to speak too soon, because ScizR might actually have the drop on flanks here. Didn't quite get the hit. Cannot really commit to the fight.
Let's see if he goes for this. He's gonna go for this again. Oh yeah, he is.
Oh, the
Oh, the
LG
lightning
damage
gun.
is crazy. And he's spamming off on the armor and ends up getting a decent amount of damage out of that as well. ScizR's got the stack to use. He's going to spend it here. And flanks gets out of that with barely any health left over.
Oh my gosh!
Three
Surprised ScizR
HP.
didn't get finished there.
Alright, ScizR diving down for armor, and yeah, he's done so much damage that flanks really cannot even peek out for any of these right now. He might get caught. Don't go through the teleporter, yeah. You can pick up a 25, but it also reveals your position to your enemy, allowing ScizR to get that frag, and with less than a minute left over, flanks has really got a plus forward here.
Yeah, nice read by ScizR. Just kind of covered the teleporter exit for a second, and then realized his opponent wasn't there and dropped down, and it just got him trying to move across middle.
Flanks is playing the I could rail better than you game, which is, as we've seen, a dangerous one to play against ScizR, but he's done just enough to be able to snag away that armor and force ScizR back over to the Mega side.
Yeah, big steal. He can get over there to Mega in time to start sniping, so he doesn't know.
He's going to have to plus back here, but like we mentioned, flanks has got to push forward to make something happen here. One solid rocket would do it, and ScizR's defensive rockets haven't really been on point. ScizR actually decides to stay in the basement, as armor's going to be coming up eventually, but Mega's coming up way sooner. If flanks has a good amount of awareness on the item timing, he knows that ScizR will not be getting an armor for free. Is he going to catch him there? We hear him over by rail.
He missed it.
ScizR's going for the timeout play and ends up getting the round.
A good win. Nice rails. He cooled off a little bit at the end, but still, it was just, you can tell it's causing flanks a lot of problems.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Round.
It's always the difficulty when your opponent starts turtling up. You go, all right, do I try to catch him or do I go for items? But if I go for items, he's going to know exactly where I'm at, which makes it harder to catch him. It's a constant debate.
Yeah, it really is. It's tough. I mean, he had the opportunity. Ooh, my goodness. That lightning gun. I mean, I mean, flanks could have gone and maybe got one more mega health before the desperation charge. I mean, but you're splitting hairs at that point. Like you said, it's you're darned if you do, darned if you don't at that point. You got to force the issue and hope you win out in the fight.
All right, so ScizR's going to get caught here by rockets. Yeah, he didn't really have a good way out of that fight, which will give flanks a little bit more to work with here. I'm sure ScizR wants to put this one in the bag, but flanks is still in this. Flanks is going quiet now, just looking for a sneaky play against the Knicks, but ends up getting stuck up by by ScizR there. Really good rail, but there's the forced ghost walk to go defensive. Flames falling through the teleporter and not quite catching ScizR with that rail, but he can make sure to chase him around the map. Staying here by the armor might be debatable because that means that ScizR will be getting a free Mega. Yep, nothing free for ScizR here. It's going to be a fight, but oh no, Flames gets stuck on the last possible pillar. One more jump would have secured it for him, but no, he's going to have to back off, and it means that even this armor could be dangerous. Where's the rail? Here it comes. Oh, he's able to
800 damage
fight.
rocket.
Yeah.
800 damage rocket jumped across the pillars. Really stopped his momentum. It'll do that.
It will indeed.
Oh my goodness! And then that happens.
You scum.
It's good shooting. I mean, ScizR lined him up with the initial rock, and then put him onto the jump pad. And I mean, it's a nice, like you said earlier. I like that quote. I might steal that from you. The duck hunt shot.
Well, we're going to see a lot of them tonight, I believe, but if Flanks is on his last leg here, last pair of legs, and what a nice pair of legs they are. Kudos to the modeler. But here's the aggressive ghost walk, and Flanks is saying, nope, don't want any of that. I know what's coming after me. He's got the time. But I like this. He's going quiet, just expecting ScizR to run into him. And yeah, when it's Nyx on Nyx, you just need that one moment of surprise, especially if they don't have Ghost Walk available.
Impressive.
Oh,
He's coming in for it. Yeah, he knows that this is his moment. Oh! And he whiffs that
Wow.
last shot. He's able to get the armor here, but that costs him so much time. You don't get fights like that every minute out of a Nyx on Nyx fight. Oh! Ghost Walk just to prevent it, but he can hear him on the jump pad. They're both going to be there, and this one last rocket will mean that ScizR will be cutting down Flanks. Jeez.
I thought Flanks had him there. He just didn't. I think if he would have shot a second earlier on the rocket coming out of Ghost Walk, he would have hit that guy. Just right before he went into his stealth, right? Really close, but good job by ScizR. Good job. Those rails have